Crew 2 has been spinning in my PlayStation 4 for the last little while, and I've been having a very good time with this game, which is quite a bit different from the very first experience. And by the way, we're in the thick of things here in this park in summertime, and there are lawnmowers all around me. You can't drive a lawnmower in the Crew 2, but you can drive pretty much anything else that you can think of, and you can switch between vehicles on the fly, and that is the hook. And the other hook is that the Ivory Tower team that built this game decided to put in pretty much all of the continental USA. So you can drive around on the streets of Detroit and New York City, Washington, D.C., Seattle, Los Angeles, Las Vegas, New Orleans, all over the place, and and also all the countryside too, through the Grand Canyons and through the redwood forests, and all kinds of beautiful scenery is yours to traverse. And you can choose to drive from one end of the USA to the other. It'll take you forever, but of course there are also fast travel points that will bounce you around from activity to activity. And thankfully what they've done here is they have made it kind of simple with lots of lists and lots of ways for you to bounce to the exact activity that you want. Maybe you want to do some plane stunts for a bit, or do some power boat racing for a little bit, or jump onto a motocross bike, or do lots of street racing. You also have this kind of role-playing aesthetic built into the game as well, where you're kind of getting loot, Diablo-style loot that pops up in little boxes, loot boxes, I guess. And actually, there is an in-game currency in here that you can augment with real money if you want to, but you don't have to. You can kind of have fun and play through the game. Some of the cars are expensive, some of the vehicles are expensive, but you can basically level up the vehicles and give them better suspension, better tires, better engines, all that stuff. It's pretty simplified. It's not like the tuning that you would get in a kind of a more racing simulation game. This is more akin to what the Playground Games folks have been doing with the Forza Horizon series, and it's different than the first Crew, which I think was a little bit more, tough as nails, kind of street racing with your buds kind of thing. This is a little bit more like it's a festival, and it's televised, and your social status hinges on your popularity and the followers, all that crap. There's a lot of cheesy voiceover in this game that will annoy you.
From the heart of New York City, this was the live Extreme Series Episode 1.
I had fun on the streets, I had fun in the boats, I had fun in the air. Drift racing is something that just completely eludes me. Sometimes I have fun with drift racing, but for the most part I feel like it's always a struggle, and I'm always bouncing off of the walls and stuff like that. But you also get challenged with some pretty cool things like photo opportunities, where you race around, you're on a street somewhere, and then poof, a little bubble pops up and says, there's a photo opportunity here. Go do a donut in front of the Dragon Gate in Chinatown in San Francisco, let's say. And so you got to go do that, and you take a picture, and then you get extra points and new followers. Hooray! Because followers are all that's important in this world. At one point, though, I did not have fun. I was chasing a moose. I was trying to find a moose in the background in the forest that I was racing around in. I was like, stopped my driving and said, okay, there's got to be a moose in here. So I picked up the camera, and the amazing thing is you can be on the map part of it, and then you zoom out and you go, oh my god, you can see the whole continental US. It's crazy. But I zoomed out a bit, and you can change the perspective of the map, and I was looking around for my moose. Never found my moose, never got my new followers from that. It does get a little numbing. You're just sort of sitting there going, oh my god, okay, what am I racing now? What am I racing now? What am I racing now? It also feels like there are long periods of quiet before you're in the fury of a race. It's not like a guided, beautiful, sort of orchestrated tour through the experience. There's a lot of like, okay, what icon am I going to hit now, or where do I got to go to get into this race? So it's big, it's not particularly crowded, it's not particularly well guided. It does feel like, part of the new Ubi experience of building these games that are going to just keep growing and growing forever. There's a lot of territory that they can keep dotting with little activities and, even new vehicle types. But as it stands, you're going to be doing off-road racing and rally racing and street racing. You're going to have so many things to do, and in that context, I kind of felt like this was like a mishmash, like a spiritual successor to some of the experiences that I had with like Diddy Kong Racing and the old Driver series that Reflections used to do. So there is some really cool, fun bits in here. I didn't feel like I was as hooked on this game as I was on, let's say, Forza Horizon 3, and as I anticipate I will be with Forza Horizon 4, but I definitely did appreciate all of the effort. It feels enormous, and it feels like people just worked their butts off to build something really special. All of these systems are in place to make this game kind of bounce at you. And I feel like I'll stay with the Crew 2 and I'll keep bouncing in, but I also feel like my tank is full on the Crew 2 right now. So it's one of these kinds of games where, you don't want to just eat everything you can and try to burn through it and beat everything and unlock everything and just fill your garages up with all these different craft. It's like, play it for a few hours, take a break, come back to it in a few days, play it for a few hours, take a break. It's a good game. It definitely is. And I'm excited to see where Ubisoft takes us in the Crew 2, because I have a feeling we're going to be seeing a lot of content for this title over the next few months and possibly few years. I'm going to give the Crew 2 out of the starting gate an 8 out of 10.